So, John, this appears to be a very active situation. What do we know right now?
It is indeed, yes. It's very unclear at the moment exactly what's going on. We're just getting sort of dribs and drabs of information. What I can tell you is that there's definitely been a mass shooting in central Vienna. The police are saying there's at least one person dead and one of the shooters has also been killed. However, the ambulance service here in Vienna is saying that there are several people dead. The Interior Minister Karl Nehammer has just made a statement. He said that there were several shooters involved and that there are also several different locations where this is taking place. And he also described this situation as a terror attack. So we know now that it's a terror attack, definitely. The numbers of dead, however, it's anyone's guess at the moment. It's varying, certainly. We also heard some reports about a possible hostage situation, although those reports don't appear to be correct. And perhaps I should just give you some information about where this actually occurred, because this was a part of central Vienna where there is a large Jewish synagogue. Obviously, then the suggestion is that perhaps that was the target of the attack, although the head of Vienna's Jewish community has said that there was nobody in the synagogue at the time. It's also an area with a lot of bars and restaurants around. There were a lot of people presumably around as well. It was 8 o'clock when the shooting started in the evening. And it's also the night before a lockdown begins here in Vienna. So presumably a lot of people were sort of out enjoying their last night of freedom, as it were. What I can tell you also is there's a huge police operation underway. I think every available police officer has been sent to the area, and people are being told to stay indoors and to not leave bars or restaurants. So it's obviously a very, very concerning situation at the moment.
So, John, tell us a little bit more about what, because this is new information that you are hearing, right? That there are many different places where incidents have taken place. You're hearing there could be a number of dead, there could be a number of people injured, and there could be many more. There could be a number of other suspects that are not in custody, right?
That's right. There seem to be definitely some shooters, some suspects still at large. We've also heard that they were carrying machine guns or heavy weapons of some description. I've just got a tweet up here on my screen from the Vienna police saying that there are 6 locations involved. But more information, unfortunately, we don't have at the moment. We simply just don't know what's going on.
We're hearing that, I just want to make sure that I'm getting this information correctly, that there are maybe as many as 6 crime scenes, that there are several seriously injured, including a police officer, a perpetrator was shot dead, right?
That's right.
And so maybe tell us a little bit more about this area. And I understand that that you were talking about how Vienna is about to go into a lockdown, obviously over COVID, and I understand it's been quite warm there, so it was a busy night on the streets.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people, as I said, were enjoying their last night of freedom, as it were. People would have been out and about, going to the many bars and restaurants in that part of Vienna. And as you say, it's been very, very mild for this time of year. It was 20 degrees today, which is very unusual in November in Vienna. And so there were obviously a lot of people out and about. If indeed these reports are true, and if the shooters were carrying heavy weaponry of some description, then presumably there were a lot of people in that area at the time, so the casualties could be quite high. But it's pure speculation at the moment. We simply just don't know. There's also been some kind of speculation about the recent situation, of course, in France, with several terror attacks occurring there, whether this could be related to those terror attacks. But I unfortunately can't really tell you anything about that at this stage. There is just simply too little information to go on at the moment.
Do you have any sense, John, of what it's like in Vienna right now, just in terms of the police operation, in terms of, have the cafes and the restaurants all kind of closed up? Have people kind of gone home? Do you have any sense of what it's like on the streets?
Absolutely. I think it's a very, very worrying and tense situation. I've received many SMSs and messages from friends, from family and other people. Where are you? What are you doing? Are you safe? I think everybody's concerned. Perhaps also more so because we simply don't know what's going on, and because this seems to be taking place in several different locations. And so it's a very, very nervous and worrying situation here for Vienna. And I have to say too that also up until now, Austria has been one country in Europe that's been spared these kinds of situations. There haven't been major terrorist attacks or anything of the like in Vienna. So it's not a situation that people here are used to dealing with. And it's something that is quite new to people here. And as I say, very, very worrying.
Right. So we do have an Interior Ministry spokesperson that is saying on Austrian television, ORF. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with that. You can maybe tell us a little bit about that. But there are 6 locations in Vienna that are in the immediate vicinity of this street that houses this central synagogue. So that is important information, that this is. It would not appear to be, according to the Interior Ministry, a small isolated incident. There would appear to be several different incidents. And there appear to be potentially several people either hurt or killed.
Well, it's hard, isn't it, not to draw the conclusion that these are coordinated attacks, that this has been planned, that these are several shooters who are linked somehow, who are coordinating this operation, and that this has been, thoroughly planned. I would suggest at this stage. The information that we're getting, I'm a journalist with the public broadcaster here, the ORF, who you mentioned, is the latest information that we've got. So if you're just hearing that on the television, then I'm sure that's probably right. And yes, it seems to be a very I'm loath to say well planned because I don't really know that, but it seems to be a major operation in any case. Let's put it that way.
And John, can you describe the general political climate or the situation in Vienna, just generally speaking, these days? Have there, would this come as, I'm sure this would probably come as a surprise to many people in Vienna that something like this would happen?
Absolutely. As I said, Austria is not a country where these kinds of things normally happen. It's a smaller country. It's perhaps a less important country than, say, Germany, France, Great Britain, where these kinds of attacks tend to happen. What I can say is that the political climate here in Austria has been perhaps a little harsher in recent years. Certainly, there's been a stronger a harder reaction against immigration, against refugees, than was traditionally the case here in Austria. And so whether that has played into this situation at all, it's very difficult to say at the moment. But certainly the political climate here is one where those kinds of ideas, where perhaps more anti-foreigner sentiment has become stronger, certainly since the migrant crisis of 2015.
John, thank you. That is freelance reporter John Cummins from Vienna.